Hey there, internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with another episode of Movie Monday. I faced my own fears and went and saw A Quiet Place yesterday. I typically don't do horror movies, but enough people kind of harassed me in a loving way to say, "You'll be fine, Trevor. Don't be such a baby. Go see this movie." And it's a movie that, ever since seeing the first trailer, I've thought, man, that looks like such a cool premise. I want to support that, but I'm a big old scaredy cat, and I don't know if I'd, really survive attempting to watch it. But I went, and overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I went. I faced that fear and went and saw it. It is just a wonderful, thrilling, tense film, but it's also a great film about family and kind of living with regret. But also dealing with it and trying to move past, decisions that have had very life or death consequences as a result of it. If you were unfamiliar with the premise of A Quiet Place, basically this alien force is kind of invaded, and they are ruthless hunters, and they hunt based on sound. So if a noise is made, these things show up and they will just slaughter you. So that we're kind of introduced to that premise in kind of I don't even know if it was a pre-credits thing, but basically the first scene of the movie really does an excellent job kind of setting up that idea, as well as the stakes and the threat of these creatures. I don't want to. I'm avoiding spoilers. This is not going to be a spoiler, but just the tone of this film is wonderful, and the way they use sound, or the lack thereof, throughout is just incredible. I saw it at Alamo Drafthouse, which has they're kind of known for their no talking, no texting policy, and so I specifically wanted to go see it there, as opposed to maybe a potentially more boisterous crowd here near ASU, because I knew that I'd get a better experience in the theater there, and even so, the silence in this film oftentimes made me super hypersensitive and acutely aware of anytime somebody shuffled in their seats or moved their drink or something like that on their tables. So it was profound in how the experience kind of shifted as a result of this film. The film itself, again, great use of, when sound happens, it's because it matters. Whether that's characters talking to each other, whether that's, noise that's going to set off, alarms and kind of, bring in the invaders. It's just sound is used wonderfully and sparsely. The film's about 90 minutes. It's a very kind of quick, well-paced film, so it never feels long. Everything that's in there feels appropriate for the family development. Of course, the family has been able to survive so far in this invading force, in part because they can still communicate well with each other effectively. One of the daughter of the family is hearing impaired, so the family knows sign language, and so they're able to kind of communicate. We see that kind of used as the dominant form of communication in the film. John Krasinski is the father, Emily Blunt, his real-life wife, the mother. John Krasinski also pulled extra duty as the director of the film and as one of the co-writers of the film. And then the two main children that we kind of live with here are Millicent Simmons, who is the daughter, and Noah Jupe, who is the son. And just all four of them are bringing their A game to this film. It's tense. You feel the love of this family, how much they care about each other, but also how maybe not being able to just talk normally has taken a toll on communication and the well-being of the family unit. There are hints of the bigger, broader world in this film. There's a particular moment where the father's kind of up on top of a silo, lighting a fire, and you see kind of signal fires in other silos in this presumably Midwest kind of farm country. So you see that other families are alive, are somehow surviving this kind of post-apocalyptic threat. And you also get kind of hints of the backstory through like newspaper clippings and stuff like that. But this very much is a film set, not at the onset of this threat, but after this family has started to live with it, and we're seeing kind of how they're surviving with it. Two particular periods. You see kind of an early period of how they're dealing with it, and then a year later how they're still dealing with it and addressing how they've kind of adapted their life to accommodate it. Really, really enjoyed this film. Sound design, like one of the best sound designs I've probably ever seen in a movie, just because of its use of silence. Wonderfully executed there, and yeah, some really great performances, and like a great story, and the love of this family, and how it kind of is helping them attempt to overcome this significant obstacle in their lives. So those are kind of my thoughts on A Quiet Place. Let me know what you thought about the film if you've seen it in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.